Imagine a single city that produces more wealth than the entire economies of Greece, Portugal, and New Zealand combined. A place where a single shipping port moves nearly half of all imported goods in the United States. Where rockets launch to Mars, movies beam to billions of screens worldwide, and billion-dollar tech startups rise from beachfront offices. This is Los Angeles, the city of angels. But today, we're not talking about celebrity gossip or who wore what on the red carpet. We're going deep into the numbers, the industries, and the hidden engines that make Los Angeles one of the most economically powerful places on Earth. Because here's the thing, Hollywood may be famous, but it's not even LA's biggest source of income. And the real story of LA's wealth is far more surprising and far more impressive. Stick around, because by the end, you'll see exactly how Los Angeles makes $1.2 trillion a year, why it's one of the richest urban economies in history, and what's next for the City of Angels. Let's set the scene. The Los Angeles metropolitan area, home to around 13 million people, with 3.8 million inside the city proper, sits between the Pacific Ocean and some of the driest deserts in North America. Despite that, it has become a global capital for entertainment, technology, aerospace, finance, manufacturing, shipping, fashion, healthcare, and tourism, all at once. Its economy is so big that if LA were a country, it would rank somewhere between Australia and South Korea on the world GDP list. And the GDP per capita? Roughly $92,000, putting it on par with wealthy nations like Switzerland. Now, you might think all that money is just Hollywood's doing, but in reality, movies are just one slice of the pie. LA's economy is a multi-engine machine with multiple billion-dollar sectors operating independently but fueling each other. To understand why LA's economy is so resilient, we need to rewind. In the late 1800s, LA was a farming town, citrus groves and vineyards as far as the eye could see. Then came oil. In the early 20th century, LA was producing 1/4 of the world's oil. You can still see some disguised oil pumps hidden in plain sight today, even on school grounds and golf courses. World War II brought aerospace and manufacturing. Boeing, Lockheed, and Douglas Aircraft built bombers and warplanes here, and those companies evolved into some of the most important aerospace players in history. The 1950s and 60s were the golden age of Hollywood, with studios churning out blockbusters and TV shows that exported American culture worldwide. The 1980s and 90s saw LA's ports become the beating heart of America's trade with Asia. Container shipping transformed the flow of goods, and LA's geography made it the perfect hub. And today, LA is home to Silicon Beach, biotech labs, global tourism, billion-dollar sports franchises, and some of the most valuable real estate in the United States. Let's count down the top 10 industries driving Los Angeles' economy today, starting from number 10. 10. Fashion and apparel, $18 billion per year. Los Angeles is the largest apparel manufacturing hub in the United States. The LA Fashion District in downtown is a wholesale powerhouse, moving billions in clothes every year, from luxury streetwear to fast fashion. Brands like Guess, Seven for All Mankind, True Religion, and John Elliott all started here. Even massive companies like Forever 21 grew out of LA before going global. E-commerce has supercharged this industry. Direct-to-consumer brands now ship worldwide from LA warehouses, cutting out middlemen. Surprise fact, LA is also the denim capital of the US, producing millions of pairs each year, often for luxury labels. 9. Food and beverage manufacturing, $20 billion per year. From tacos to kombucha, LA is a food trend factory. Global food giants like Nestlé USA are headquartered here. King's Hawaiian bakes its sweet bread in torrents. Beyond Meat, valued at nearly $1 billion, developed its plant-based burgers in El Segundo. And wine? California is the top wine producer in the US, and LA still plays a role in distribution and branding. Fun fact, LA helped turn avocados from a regional crop into a $15 billion national obsession. 8. Real estate and construction, $25 billion per year. LA's housing prices are infamous. The median home price? About $900,000, 3 times the US average. Mega projects like the $5 billion SoFi Stadium or the billion-dollar Wilshire Grand Center are more than just skyline changes. They ripple billions through construction jobs, materials, and property taxes. Luxury property is also a magnet for foreign investment, with overseas buyers parking billions in LA mansions each year. 7. Healthcare and biotech, $32 billion per year. Healthcare is one of LA's fastest-growing industries. Cedars-Sinai Medical Center and the UCLA Health System are among the largest employers in the city, with thousands of doctors, nurses, and researchers. Biotech companies like Amgen in nearby Thousand Oaks are developing cancer therapies and gene editing techniques worth billions. Projected growth? over 20% job expansion in the next decade, outpacing national averages of 6. Tourism and hospitality, $36 billion per year. Over 50 million visitors a year come to LA, and they spend big. From the Hollywood Walk of Fame to Universal Studios, from high-end Beverly Hills hotels to Venice Beach cafes, tourism dollars fuel restaurants, transportation, events, and retail. Sports tourism is booming too. The 2028 Summer Olympics are expected to generate billions in infrastructure and visitor spending. 5. Aerospace and defense, $45 billion per year. Los Angeles is a global aerospace hub. Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, and SpaceX all have major facilities here. SpaceX alone, valued at over $180 billion, launches reusable rockets and develops Mars-bound spacecraft just 20 miles from downtown LA. Historical note, the same city that built World War II bombers now builds interplanetary rockets. 4. Finance and insurance, $60 billion per year. LA is the financial capital of the Pacific Rim. Banks like East West Bank bridge U.S.-Asia trade, while venture capital firms fund Hollywood productions, tech startups, and renewable energy projects. The insurance market here is also huge, especially in entertainment, where film productions insure everything from cameras to A-list actors. 3. Trade and logistics, $80 billion per year. The Port of Los Angeles is the busiest in the Western Hemisphere, handling over 9 million containers a year. Combined with the Port of Long Beach, this complex processes about 40% of all imports to the U.S., mostly electronics, apparel, and furniture from Asia. Without LA's ports, much of the American retail supply chain would grind to a halt. 2. Technology, $85 billion per year. Welcome to Silicon Beach, LA's tech powerhouse. Google, YouTube, Snap Inc., Hulu, and TikTok's U.S. operations are all here, alongside hundreds of startups in gaming, e-commerce, and AI. Gaming is huge. Riot Games, League of Legends, and Activision Blizzard, Call of Duty, generate billions annually. This sector is growing at nearly double the U.S. average. And with AI and virtual production booming, LA could rival Silicon Valley in certain niches. 1. Entertainment and media, $150 billion per year. Hollywood may not be LA's only industry, but it's still the crown jewel. Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Netflix, and Sony Pictures operate here, producing content consumed by billions worldwide. Streaming has supercharged revenue. Netflix alone spent over $17 billion on content last year, much of it in LA. Exports and economic challenges. Top exports, electronics, vehicles, aerospace parts, pharmaceuticals, and entertainment media. Challenges, sky-high housing costs, income inequality, water scarcity, and congestion. So, why is LA so rich? Because it's not a one-trick pony. LA is a city of $10 billion industries, all running in parallel. If Hollywood slows, tech or trade picks up. If tourism dips, aerospace or healthcare surges. It's a city that's reinvented itself over and over, and each time, it's come back richer. So next time you think of LA as just celebrities and palm trees, remember, it's also the city that keeps America's goods flowing, launches rockets into space, powers billion-dollar tech companies, and drives global culture. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Los Angeles' economy, hit that like button, subscribe for more GDP breakdowns, and drop a comment telling us which city or country you want next.